What's going on, people? Midlow89 here. Welcome to the channel, True Source Player. In this video I wanted to talk about my experience with Antares 1111, finding out that I possibly am from Antares or Ophiuchus starseeds, and also my self-initiation through the sign of Scorpio and other weird occurrences linked with Saturn and its rings. So, if you aren't familiar, this is following the story of my huge consciousness shift and an event that I had in the woods where I came into contact with two really bright orbs which shifted my consciousness massively. It was like a huge turning of the dial where everything after that point was just flooding into me as synchronicities and information, and it was a huge shift and a course altering event in my life for the better. But there was a lot of trials and tribulations. So what happened after that point, I did upload a video on that, so if you want to go back and watch that, you can. What happened a month after that, because I was still on the alcohol and stuff and the smoking, I was still kind of trying to wane off those satanic abusive behaviours from previous mushroom trips which they were teaching me. You need to stop doing that because it's just not serving you. I went back and joined where I was working abroad. We went out for beers and stuff with the lads, and I actually got back and I passed out. I never woke up, and this has never happened to me before. So after that point I actually knew that I should not ever touch alcohol again, which I kind of didn't. And now, 2 years after booze, it's been coming into so much more information and being able to access the astrals. It's just incredible, and this is what everyone needs to do. But going back to the story, so I was working abroad. It was in Barcelona, and I passed out. And anyway, we went over. I was working on a yacht, and so we crossed the Atlantic, went over to the Caribbean. And so during that time, obviously I was still processing everything I was going through, and I was thinking, that's it's bizarre. I passed out, and I'm never like that. The guys tried to wake me up, and apparently I was laughing and giggling, put the duvet back over my head, and I was thinking, that's just strange. But I was so super sensitive based on what I experienced in that event with those two orbs, that I knew, everything, all the energies and stuff, my body was just so much more sensitive to. Anything I put in my body, I just felt it as well. There was a huge change, and I knew that, okay, I need to come off the alcohol, come off the smoking as well, and just really tidy up my diet. And this is me now for the rest of my life, because I can't change it. I'm like vibrating at a higher octave now. I remember what happened, I think, energetically when I passed out was reflected in some of the matter in the cabin that I was staying in. I know it sounds crazy, but I'll put the photos up so you can see. I was brushing my teeth one time, and I noticed the handle had all these weird fractal patterns on them, and on the bottom it was like a hexagram linked to Saturn, and right in the middle was like this little dot hovering there right in the centre. I was thinking, fuck, I've never noticed that before. My toothbrush, they're normally just real mundane. I was thinking something has definitely come in and carved that in energetically. That's like some magic or something happened. And it immediately made me think of, go check your ring. So I was wearing this ring, which is a replica of the Lord of the Rings ring, with the proper regalia, or the graphics along the outside and the inside. So it's made out of tungsten. It was black with the graphics in gold writing on the outside and inside of the elven writing. And so I was going around. I was like, where is that? Because I remember wearing it on that night out I had where I passed out. And I worn it in the woods that night where I was initiated on Scorpio, that full moon, with those two orbs, and what I went through during that event, which was very kind of traumatic psychologically for me at the time. But looking back, it was needed for my growth. And so I found my ring, and it was a crack right down the side, one of the sides. And I was thinking, fucking hell, that's so weird. So I went to try and pry it open, because tungsten is one of the hardest metals on the planet. It's the most densest metal on the planet. So I went to pry it open. It was a complete, using a lot of force to try and actually get a little gap open so I can see it. It was cracked completely, and it was like a little divot on top. I mean, this thing didn't have any other dents, so there was no indication of my hand being damaged, because if you were to, actually crack a tungsten ring, you would have to put it under some kind of vice or sledgehammer. So there must have been a lot of force exerted onto my hand, and there was no damage or bruises or anything. And I knew what I did all night. It was only when I got back I couldn't wake up. I was unconscious. So I was somewhere else. We were in the astrals, we were doing battles, who knows. And so I sent it off to my mate. And I remember, because I told him, like, mate, it's fucking bizarre. Look at the toothbrush and the ring. And I passed out. Given what we went through like a month earlier, this is very symbolic of what's happening. He sent me an article on the news saying that Saturn's losing its rings. And I'm just thinking, holy shit, okay, pay attention here. Another huge synchronicity. And I was thinking maybe that is symbolic of not only what I'm doing for myself, breaking the binds of Saturn, the spell binding of freeing my soul, and this journey I'm on, the hero's journey, but also maybe on a cosmic scale. This is happening also. This is what we've been sent here to do. So this led on, obviously after that point, we were in the Caribbean, and I was in the harbour, I think in a place called, I can't remember, it was somewhere in the Bahamas. And, you know, I was working and I was having all these weird shit happening. Like, I was having loads of weird people fucking pulling up on the yacht in their cars and stuff and on their phones looking at me and observing me. I felt like I was being watched. And all these lights at random times of people holding shit up in the balconies in these fucking apartments and refracting light so it would actually go into my eyes. You know, when I was there, like, just casting out, chilling out, having a rest on the bridge and shit. And I was thinking, this is fucking so strange. And I remember seeing all these lights go off in these apartments as well, and a lot of weird activity with lights. And so, like I said, I was super sensitive. I was picking up on all these like weird changes of colours and lights, and they'll be like flashing and then slowly changing. I know you get a lot of these LED lights that kind of, they can do this nowadays, but I remember trying to find the source, whether it be like a TV or something. It'd be like the middle of the night. I couldn't fucking see anything. Anyway, I was watching one of these one night, and what come over the radio as I was watching it was on channel 16 on the radio network for the shipping vessels for the channels was spirit animal, spirit animal, spirit animal. So there's obviously another vessel out there in the vicinity, you know, underway at sea, calling out to another vessel named spirit animal, spirit animal, spirit animal. And he said it 3 times to get their attention, then have a little communication. And they were talking about something, you know, having to change course so they didn't collide. And as she said that, where this fucking light was going off in this apartment, this woman came out, walked downstairs, and I thought I'll follow her, see what's going on. And I followed her, and I was thinking, this is symbolic. There's obviously going to be a message here or something. And I was watching her, and I had the binoculars out. It's quite a big harbour, so it was like right on the other side. And she walked, probably took like a few minutes. And I kept watching. She went into another apartment complex. And right next to that door, which she went into, was another shop front, and it was called Perfect Gods by Robert Longo, who was an artist. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me. And so I went online to have a look what the hell this thing was, and it was an art exhibition. And some of the top photos that were there were a picture of a jellyfish, a lion, an eagle, and what was the other one? So it was a jellyfish, a lion, an eagle, and a great white shark. That's it. And I was thinking, wow, spirit animal on the radio, seeing these lights, follow the woman, Perfect Gods by Robert Longo, and then seeing these animals represented in some of his exhibition art pieces. And there was an angel wing there as well. And I was thinking, fucking, this is insane. And to add on top of that, and this all happened within like maybe 2 months. This all happened like back to back, all these weird synchronicities, seeing people watching me, these funny lights, observing all this weird activity around me. There was a boat called Antares that rocked up, and it was berthed two berths down from us. And it was there for quite a few weeks. And I remember working some night shifts, and the lights would be flickering on Antares. And I remember seeing there was some weird activity with people like just appearing on the boat and then disappearing when I'd be looking over. And I remember one event where it was one guy especially before they left. So I was working a night shift and they were due to leave the next morning. And this guy was on the bow with like this really bright glowing instrument, like a fucking iPhone, but it was on like super brightness, and he was making his face light up. And he had a cap on, and he was like standing really imposingly looking at me and kind of doing stuff on his phone and looking again. I remember looking, turning around, went back, and he just wasn't anywhere to be seen. There's no way he could have hidden because his thing was quite small. I was like, where the fuck did he go? You know, so he would have had to walk all the way down the back. And the backside of the yacht you can see as well. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? So anyway, I went to bed that night, woke up the next night for the next night shift, and they moved, and what came in its place, the vessel that was docked up in its place, was 1111. And I was thinking, you got to be fucking kidding me. I just thought, you just got to be fucking kidding me. This is just getting insane. So obviously I came to the realisation of new knowledge about Antares and how is that tied in with, you know, what I'm doing. I realised obviously when I had the two orbs come in the woods, that was under the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is when the veil's at its thinnest, and it also governs the sign of Ascension in the occult worlds with the death and rebirth cycle and resurrection. And they say that the Ascension path of Scorpio going from the Scorpio, or the snake, scorpion, up into the eagle. And this was one of the animals represented in my spirit animal with the Robert Longo synchronicity, Perfect Gods. And so then I, you know, the months preceding that, doing lots of research, know thyself, digging into who I am, had a look at my astrology chart, and found out my moon and Pluto is in Scorpio. And I was thinking, well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's in the tropical. You know, sidereal was obviously off a little bit. But, you know, you have to connect the patterns. You've got to look at the patterns. and trying to observe things and connect the dots. And another thing that was very synchronistic with that was, if you look on my finger, my little finger there, I've got 4 creases, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas everyone else, normally on the other hand, you should have 3, which is where the knuckles are. So I haven't actually got an extra knuckle, but otherwise it has 4 creases there. If you look at palmology, this little finger, these all represent the sections of the sky and the constellations given the times of the seasons. So this is actually autumn. So this represents Libra, Scorpio, and it should be just Sagittarius. You know, on my left hand it'll be, because I've got the three fingers here. But on my right hand, Libra, Scorpio, Ophiuchus, Sagittarius. And the planet that governs that little finger is Mercury, messenger of the gods. And so it just, when you connect all these things up, I still got more questions than answers, but it really revealed, holy shit, there's obviously an affinity here with Scorpio, Antares, especially Ophiuchus. And Ophiuchus is the serpent bearer, and he's here, he's the healer. And apparently there's a lot of links with him, with Christ as well, being the 13th. And the 13th is otherwise being, again, baited and switched. And we're led to believe that 13 is such a fearful number. It's not. It's actually very beneficial. It's the most powerful number in the universe. And it's on the Fibonacci sequence. And it's like part of the next octave of a higher harmonic kind of cycle, I believe. And, you know, the 13th element as well in the periodic table was aluminium. My name's Alex, and my first abbreviated name is Al, A-L. That's the 13. And it's also got atomic weight at 26, and I'm born on the 26th of February. I mean, aluminium, of course, if it goes in your blood, is poisoning. But what do they say in order to combat AI, all these discordant frequencies? Tinfoil hat. What's tinfoil made out of? Aluminium. And so if you want to block out all this shitty mind control MK Ultra energy and frequencies from this AI fucking parasite that's come in and, you know, basically encased Saturn and lowered its vibration in this spellbinding ring and put a hex on it, because it is all fucking interdimensional magic, because it's literally intergalactic, interdimensional magic that has made, you know, trapped Saturn as a sun. It used to have 2 suns into this fallen state, which is now being used to relay the signal via the moon and to entrap us into this fucking carbon-based 666 reality. And so this tying all this in, I was like, holy shit, you know, this is also very symbolic, because, you know, they tell us all, aluminium, you know what I mean, aluminium. If you have aluminium lining on your wallpaper, your hat, look at Magneto in X-Men. He's got a helmet, metal helmet on to keep Professor X out of his head, and he's all for, you know, embracing the new mutated version of humanity. Whereas, you know, Professor X wants to work with trying to suppress it. It's kind of, again, the bait and switch. They're kind of like, it's double speak. You know, the good guy is actually playing the bad guy. It's representing the bad guy. But they just, it's all convoluted in this language, this subconscious world. And this is what they've done to poison everything, even our language. If you get into the poison prefixes and suffixes of our language and the verbiage used and turning nouns into verbs and stuff like this, that's the code that governs our body politics, and that's what's running in our software. The code is the language, and this is what they've poisoned as well. Everything they fucking touch and come in is poisoned in order to drop us and keep us in this artificial low grid of vibrational state and consciousness and awareness. But this has changed, and it's incredible when you start realising who you are and tying all these synchronicities. So that was huge. Atomic weight is 26, born on the 26th of February. My moon's in Scorpio, as well as Pluto. Pluto is literally, it's domiciled in Scorpio. It loves to be in Scorpio because it is Hades. It's the death and rebirth. It's destruction. And I think this is what we need to bring in order to destroy this old world and to bring in the new. And I think that's what's happening coming out of this Kali Yuga age that we're in. So it's very, very symbolic. All the things that I've gone through personally, I believe is actually happening on a macro scale as well. So it's hugely, hugely symbolic. And it's cool as well when you come into this kind of stuff, but you know, you got to keep a level head and stay grounded. So I've still got more answers than questions. It just goes to show, doesn't it? I mean, you got all these weird occurrences happening. The toothbrush, the ring, how symbolic that is. Saturn, Horus and Set. You know, you got all these films that depict this. Even Lord of the Rings. What was Sauron? Well, he was a fallen elf. He used to be a good elf before he fell in consciousness. And that is symbolic of what's happened to Saturn. Saturn used to be a bright star, used to be the brother of the sun. Like the divine twins of Castor and Pollux in Gemini. Well, it's since fallen. It's now Cain and Abel. Horus and Set, God and Satan. It's this dualistic battle that's going on. And right in the middle of it all is planet Earth. That is Midgard. This is Middle Earth. That's where we have the battle of Middle Earth. And where you can see moons, I believe these parasites use moons to encase and control whole planetary systems. And you can see obviously Saturn's surrounded by them. And even one of the Mimas looks like a Death Star. George Lucas knew what's up in Star Wars. It literally looks exactly like a Death Star, Mimas, if you look it up online. And so they come in, Jupiter, Mars destroyed, Tiamat used to be there, and apparently, you know, that's just been blown up due to all this shit that's going on in the cosmos, these wars. And now we got the moon surrounding Earth. You know, moves 13 degrees every day. And all these, you know, 13 months of the year, the lunar calendar. And you also got, you know, 2,160 miles away from the Earth, where every precessional slippage in age we go through is 2,160 years. It's directly linked with Saturn. It's kind of like it's a broadcast from Saturn, this archontic, artificially intelligent driven grid, in order to keep us in a perpetual state of ignorance so they can harvest and live off our energy. It's like a battery. But I believe this is changing because they want to take over the Earth. And apparently the Earth is like an interdimensional portal to the higher heavenly realms, which is why the higher ups have had to come down and say that fucking stop this from happening, because this is some serious shit. This kind of virus has gotten out of control. It's like Agent Smith in the Matrix. You got Neo and Agent Smith, another representation. Agent Smith is Saturn, Neo is the sun. That angelic divine nature of where we're all from, true source. The sun and the moon, which is the left hand half, sinister. The moon used to be called Sin. Luna, short for lunatic. It governs the emotions and the waters, otherwise symbolised by the unicorn, yeah? Which is your pineal gland, which is your third eye chakra. And the unicorn is symbolised in the horn coming through the forehead because they control that. The moon governs the fucking pineal gland, it governs sleep, it's the subconscious realms. This is where all of this abuse and rape and fucking trickery has been played out in the subconscious minds. We can only access like fucking 5% of it. You know, when you start purifying, you can access more and you get conscious, lucid in your dream state, which is that astral state. And you have a bit more control then. And you can start deciphering things and getting messages through from the true source. But the moon's obviously put there to fucking govern and make sure and regulate certain things and realities. And make sure everything is fucking hard, cased in carbon 666. Things take time to manifest. You know, but Neo in the Matrix, Agent Smith, he gets way out of control. He goes around spreading himself as a virus. And even one of the scenes where he comes out, when Neo first finds out he replicates himself, all these crows, and he's walking, all these crows, very symbolic, all these crows fly off as he's walking. And the crow symbolises Saturn, it's black. It is linked to the planet Saturn. Saturn is the Grim Reaper, he's the fallen Sauron, who once was, you know, a divine bright lord, now he's the Dark Lord. And this is what he's bringing about. And they're trying to raise through him as an interdimensional portal, Baal or Lucifer on this plane. And so there's a lot of shit going down, but we have to wait and see. But there's a battle going on. I've been through fucking many, and that was just the beginning. So I've got other videos to upload, loads of stuff to share. Hopefully it'll help activate you guys and encourage you to actually put your stories out as well. Any similar things that you've experienced, just get it out there, because it will just help us connect subconsciously with one another and help lock in this grid of good energy in that kind of warrior mentality, because we are here to fuck shit up. I certainly am, and that's exactly what I've been doing. I'm so anti-establishment, and everything I've been setting up, if you look at my website, is to go up against this system. And I knew born into this place that this fucking is a horrible fucking mess. The way we're taught things, everything's inverted, and they've just kept us in a box, the fucking satanic 666 sided box. And they fucking square you off, and then they give you 1 degree when you graduate university, because they fucking square off your head and give you a mortarboard where all the Freemasons can fucking scoop their cement and mix to build their bricks, where the Jesuits write the scripts. Enough of that shit, you know. It's time to fucking wake up, reclaim your soul and your sovereignty, and just say enough's enough. I don't care if I die, I'll fucking rather die on my feet than fall on my knees and serve a fucking Dark Lord and all these demonic, parasitical, insufferable, pathetic entities. Come on. Anyway guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, like. Let us know if you have any similar experiences. And yeah, let's fucking change the world together. This is what is needed so much. And God bless. Love you all. Peace.